Good. All right. Questions for Coach Collins?
Coach, you made that push there in the fourth quarter, and it was actually kind of reminiscent of the whole second half. It felt like every time you did make a push, they kind of had one more answer. Certainly, you guys went down fighting. You just kind of came a little short again today.
Yeah, I think sort of they had one more answer, and sort of we just shot ourselves in the foot again. And so I was really proud that the girls kept fighting. You know, a lot of teams in this situation, we're not proud of our record. That's not what we're expecting or accustomed to, but I'm proud that they kept fighting. And I told them at the end, I said they competed like we were competing for a championship, knowing that we weren't going to get to play again. And a lot of teams wouldn't have done that. We talked about your effort is who you are. And that we wanted to make sure that you put the effort out there regardless of playing again the next week or regardless of the score, that your fans, your friends, and your family would all be really proud of. And so, you know, I told them I was proud of their effort. We didn't always execute well. That's been consistent throughout the whole season. We've made turnovers when we needed not to. We've missed layups when we needed a bucket. We've just made those we've given up rebounds when we needed a defensive board, and we've made those mistakes, but they kept fighting, and they've continued to improve and get better throughout the course of the season. But I'm really proud that they've continued to fight the good fight, and that's worth a lot.
But you talked about earlier this week how this is uncharted territory for you not making the conference tournament. How have you kind of planned to, go into the off season to kind of, build back that momentum going into the next year?
Yeah, first we're going to celebrate the seniors. I've got 6 seniors that are all going to get a degree from WKU. And a couple of them came in with a lot of work to do. And so we dug in, and some of them, a lot of threatening, some extra cardio, some early mornings, some study hall, all that, whatever it took to get them to be able to graduate. And so Callie Rose has already gotten her degree, and she's working on a graduate certificate, and the other 5 will all graduate. Tia has 1 class in June to complete, but she'll be able to walk. And so I'm really proud that all 6 of them are going to get a degree from WKU. And, in this day and age, some kids change schools more than they change clothes or socks, and so so I'm proud that we've got some that are 1 year, but several that are 2 years, and they're going to get their degree, and so I'm really proud of it. Then we'll get to work on, we've already started work on the portal. That's what it comes down to, is we've got to find the players that can get us back in that contention. And so I'm real proud of the young ladies like Trini Rowe and Salma and Tori all played their hearts out, and they've gotten better as the season's gone on. I'm proud of them, and they'll work hard in the off season. And we've got some good young ladies that have already signed, and we've got some more that are ready to sign. And then we'll get to work on that off season stuff. But first, we're going to look forward to. I threatened Tia. I said, Miss Jeannie, her grandmother, I said, I will drag her across this stage and thump that diploma, but she is going to get a degree, I promise you. And so she did. Or she's about to.
Coach, one of the things, throughout the year, like you said, despite the record, one thing that you can truly tell about this team is that they all care about each other. Mm-hmm. And so how has that just shown throughout the year, no matter if you win or if you lose? This team has been very close.
Yes, and we've worked on that chemistry. I think that's important, and it's not easy. I appreciate you noticing that, because it's not easy when you bring in a lot of new players. We lost a lot in the off season, whether graduation or transfers, and we were trying to replace that. And so it's not easy when you bring a lot of new players in. And so we've done all kinds of things. But a credit really goes to young ladies to keeping an open mind, being receptive to others, and really being more inclusive than exclusive. And so it'd been easy for some of them to try to check out. And so I'm really thankful and proud that we've had good leadership and good example, and that really tells you a lot about grandmas and moms and dads and their families and their expectations of who they are as young ladies. And so they have, and you saw, they all wanted to walk out with each other. And we've got a few that parents weren't able to make it, and Sophie Talegdi's family traveled from Hungary here for the last 2 games, and so it was great for them to be able to talk to them and for them to see her play in person. So yeah, it's a good group. I'm proud of how they carried themselves. When we're on trips, they say thank you to the bus driver. They hold the door for other people. They do things that you want them to do. So they represent the university in the right kind of way, and the team in the right kind of way. We just haven't been able to be successful enough on the basketball court, and that's not from lack of desire or trying. Sometimes we're just not quite big enough or fast enough or good enough, but I'm proud of who they are as young ladies.
Coach, you talked all year about, going up that hill and wanting to play your best ball in March. And it really does feel like the last 3 or 4 weeks you guys have played your best ball of the season and really kind of come together. Do you feel like, though, maybe it came together a little bit later than anticipated, whether it be injuries or meshing things with new players and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, Mike, we would love for this to come together in November. It's just hard to get them here in July and August and get them cooking by November. And then we're not always, sometimes we're starting at a different point. And there might be a lot of fundamental. The one thing that I've always been proud of all of our teams, I just took a picture with Kendall Noble, Ivy Brown, and Micah Jones. And they're all really good players, and they all grew and got a lot better. Ivy Brown was Miss Basketball and had a hard time getting on the court, and then we worked. And so you see the progress in these young ladies each year. They grow and they become better, and so it just takes a little bit of time to do that. And we had some unfortunate injuries. All teams have that, but we had some Trinity was hurt, and then Selma was hurt, and we just had some tough breaks there, and it helped some other young ladies to grow. But I felt like they started to kind of getting comfortable with one another somewhere around late January, early February, and then we started playing a little bit better. We still run into that scoring issue, just being able to put enough points on the board to win. And so it's not from, Zophi's a great example. Zophi's shot extra, worked hard, and she's just been in the most never-ending slump shooting that you could possibly be in. But she's been in there shooting, and I fully expected when we got ready to play Missouri State, I thought she was going to light them up. I thought she was going to torch them, and it just wouldn't fall down. And then today she was 1 for 11, and she's not taking bad shots. She just having a hard time finding the bottom. And so they've had that work ethic, and they've had that chemistry, and really that desire to keep going all season. And so I'm really proud of that.
Would you tell the 6 seniors here at the end after the circle?
That was that they made it. That they, we've all season we've talked about you don't stop running a race in the middle, and you don't stop pedaling when you're going uphill. And I said, you made it, and they got to be proud with how they closed out their career. Not proud of the win-loss record, not proud of not being able to compete for a championship, but they competed. And they never gave up, and you've seen players in other teams and just pack it up, and they've kept a pretty positive attitude through some tough times.
You mentioned not playing next week. You had one of the players here, Trinity, said she's going to be watching next week because that's what she wants ultimately to compete for a championship. When you've got players coming back already talking motivation in the next year, as a coach, that's got to be pretty good to hear. Well,
she's as tough and as smart as they come, and I just gave her props right there because I've been busting her head all year on that little side-to-side step-back move that she loves to try to do, and she's gotten blocked probably 40 times. And tonight she shook Collins on that to get that 3. And I told her right there, and I said, hey, I was hoping so bad that went in, you turn around and point at me. And so I thought that's what she was going to do, but I was proud that that's the kind of attitude she has. She's never gotten her head down because I'm on her about what she's doing and how to get better. She understands that that's coaching. And so there's no doubt that she'll come back hungrier and more determined than ever, and she'll be a key part of everything from summer workouts to who we're able to get out of the portal as well.
You kind of mentioned the portal and all that. With it starting kind of now for you, obviously not what you wanted as far as to be playing forward, but how much more of a head start do you feel like you kind of have maybe on some other programs now to try to
we'll just wait and see. But you don't wait till it opens to start working. So we'll just wait and see.
All right, thank you guys.